We're just a couple of weeks away from the end of June, and quite surprisingly, Manchester United have not made a single signing. After being rather swift when it came to announcing Erik as the new manager, the Red Devils were expected to sort out their summer transfer activity as early as possible. However, at the time of writing for this video, United have not made any signings, although they have been linked with pretty much every player on the planet who calls themselves a football player. Manchester City are willing to let go of Raheem Sterling, but have asked an interested club that they should not expect any gifts from the reigning English champions. Real Betis are not against the idea of selling star forward Nabil Fekir, but the Pamplona Giants need a few conditions to be met by whoever is interested in signing the World Cup winner. AC Milan did the unthinkable by winning their first Scudetto in years. One of the players who played a key role in the historic triumph was Rafael Leao, who is attracting wayward glances from all corners of the continent. Will Milan be able to hold on to their star forward? Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest developments in the world of football. First, the sudden arrival of PSG in the negotiations for Renato Sanchez, and then the news of the transfer budget for the summer campaign being at around €50 million. The last few days have not been easy for Milan or its fans, who were looking forward to the arrival of the young midfielder from Lille and were also hoping to see more resources to operate on. The budget can increase through sales, but then again, Milan don't have a lot of players who would command a high transfer value. There is of course one exception. That is Rafael Leao, but the Rossoneri are definitely not eager to let go of a player who could be the cornerstone of their project. In recent days, the player's contract renewal has been put on hold due to two reasons: the change in ownership and the situation surrounding technical director Paolo Maldini and his right-hand man, Frederic Massara. The two have expiring contracts, while Leao himself owes Sporting Lisbon €16.5 million for his transfer to Lille back in 2018. However, Rafael Leao wants to stay at the club and has no intention of jumping ship anytime soon. But then again, if the reigning Italian champs end up getting a decent proposal, they might be forced to change their stance. Nabil Fekir had a very successful 2021-22 campaign. Real Betis won the Copa del Rey and thus qualified for the Europa League. On an individual level, the French international shone, garnering praise all over Spain. He scored 6 goals and delivered 8 assists, but beyond the numbers, his overall influence was immense. The Betis fans absolutely adore him, but with the likes of Newcastle and Atletico Madrid interested, things might get a bit complicated. However, according to AS, Betis will not sell the player under contract until 2026. The Spanish media indicates that, for the moment, no club has approached the €30 million requested by the Andalusians to start negotiations. It is therefore the minimum amount requested, and there is no doubt that given the prices on the market and the players' services, the leaders of Betis will try to grab a few million more during negotiations with other clubs. It should also be noted that Betis do not necessarily need to sell the Frenchman, and that it is on the sale of elements like Alex Moreno or William Carvalho that the Andalusian club hopes to scratch the few million they need to be in a healthy financial position. But there is no doubt that the offers will end up arriving fairly quickly. Will Raheem Sterling continue on tour of England? After Liverpool and Manchester City, will he discover a London club, Chelsea? This is the wish of the Blues, who have taken action in recent hours to buy out the last year of the England international's contract, linked until 2023. Romelu Lukaku being close to returning to Inter Milan, the German coach Thomas Tuchel wants to land a new forward, and Raheem Sterling seems to fit the desired profile. More versatile than Lukaku and able to evolve as a winger as well as a support striker in his 3-4-3 system. A first offer of around €40 million was reportedly made by the Blues for the 27-year-old player, as reported by Sky Italia. The offer was refused by Man City. The price is, however, substantial for a player who will be a free agent in a year, but between English teams we rarely see them giving gifts on the transfer window. According to Sky Sports, the Mancunian Giants are claiming €70 million for their forward, who started 23 times in the Premier League last season and scored 13 goals, a prohibitive sum, but which does not discourage Chelsea. The management of the Blues remains confident about the finalisation of this case. They do not believe in this amount and refer to what Bayern Munich paid Liverpool for Sadio Mane, who was in the same contractual situation and was sold for just under €40 million. The Senegalese is, however, older at 30 years old and does not strengthen a competitor on the national scene. Chelsea can in any case rely on Sterling's desire for a change of scenery after spending 7 years at the Etihad Stadium. Just a few days ago, Manchester United CEO Richard Arnold decided to sit down with fans at a garden pub. Little did he know that he was being secretly recorded, and his candid conversation over how shambolic the previous season was has been making rounds all over the internet. Arnold used some choice words for the performances from last season and admitted that the club had made a lot of mistakes in the transfer market. While it is commendable that Arnold was being very candid in terms of his views, it is clear that there are things happening at the club that aren't being talked about. For many years, Glazers have incurred the wrath of the supporters, and there is some truth to it as well. With the club still under £500 million of debt, the owners are expected to take out £11 million of dividend later this week, while at the same time they're bargaining with Barcelona for €10 million for the signing of Frenkie de Jong. Such things are supposed to rile up fans. In a campaign where creativity was a miss for the most part, United were expected to quickly make new signings, but to date nothing of the sort has happened. They have been chasing de Jong, but Barcelona have now started playing hardball with them. At the same time, Christian Eriksen has been linked, but United haven't moved swiftly enough, so don't be surprised if some other rival swoops in and signs the Danish midfielder. They need a centre-back, and Jurrien Timber was likely to be signed. However, former manager Louis van Gaal was at his vindictive best, and warned the young defender that he might not be at the World Cup if he signs for a team where he doesn't get enough playing time. LVG never moved on from his acrimonious departure, and has done something no one expected him to do, but then again, there are so many defenders out there. The last time United did not make a signing in June was way back in 2010, but the need to sign a new player wasn't as great back then as it is now. Next season is going to be even more difficult. Erik Ten Hag wants his team to play a certain brand of football. For that, he needs the right players. At present, he doesn't have that. With pre-season just around the corner, the Dutch tactician would have preferred his bosses to have wrapped up the deals by now. Sadly though, the former Ajax manager thought that he was joining a club that will prioritise sporting brilliance over anything else. Sadly, he's been given a reminder why United are a team people tend to stay away from.